There's a major crisis in the RP community.
It's not masculinity.
It's not a lack of intelligence.
It's not money.
And it's not fitness.
It's friendly fire.
We've turned on each other. You see, over the last few years, men in this community have declared war on one another.
Men are slandering each other,
Making personal information public.
And even doxing each other.
This is flat out wrong.
The world does not care about men.
It doesn't value our intellect.
It couldn't care less about our plight.
and it sure as hell doesn't care about what we contribute.
So this community was created to give men a place to go help.
Help with money.
Fitness.
Help with how to be a true gentleman.
Dealing with life as a veteran.
Taking their place as head of household.
And even assistance with coping with divorce.
And for a few years, things were awesome.
Men banded together to help one another.
We were thriving.
We were making real progress.
But something changed along the way.
Our egos somehow got the better of us.
We've become envious of one another.
We started throwing around wild accusations,
We started calling each other grifters.
doing hit pieces on one another.
And eventually, the message was lost.
Gentlemen, we are no longer a unified community.
Every other week, there's a petty disagreement.
This creator falling out with that creator.
And he copied me.
Oh, he disrespected me. I said that first. He started charges for his products?
He's a fraud.
He should do a response video. Wah.
This ends right here.
And right now.
Welcome to the Conference of Masculine Excellence. This event will serve as a new beginning for our community. We are going to show men the true meaning of masculinity.
We'll discuss the importance of family and fatherhood.
We'll talk about fitness and why it's the cornerstone of every man's foundation.
We will discuss how to deal with things like PTSD and depression.
We'll teach you the importance of financial shrewdness.
We'll talk about how to avoid the wrong type of women.
How to select the right woman.
How to strengthen your mind.
And much, much more.
Yeah, we will talk about sex and relationships.
That's a given.
But we're focusing on becoming a complete man.
A man that is strong physically.
Mentally,
And spiritually.
Yes, most of us found this community because of women.
And hey man, it was a few women for me.
What are y'all talking about, man? I'm undefeated.
Shit, I'm not. I've taken a lot more L's than W's.
All right, let me stop the cap. I've taken plenty of L's.
But many of us understand that it's not all about women.
In fact, it's quite the opposite.
this doesn't mean we don't want women.
Because trust me, we most certainly do.
But we're going to show you why it's important to follow the advice of the Godfather himself, Rollo Tomasi.
And that is to make yourself your own mental point of origin.
None of us are perfect.
Far from it.
Yes, we have all made mistakes in life.
We have all made bad decisions. We've all had our hearts broken.
We've all been broke.
We've all been through some shit.
But our goal is to teach you how to avoid these pitfalls so that you can become the very best version of yourself.
Yes, we will have disagreements from time to time.
But in the end, we are all on the same team.
We're in this together as men. And this is how it starts.
The inaugural Conference of Masculine Excellence will usher in a new era in this men's community. And from here on out, we're going to do things differently.
No more infighting.
No more friendly fire.
No more hit pieces.
No more response videos.
And no more public feuds.
If we have a disagreement, we handle it behind the scenes, man to man.
The way it's supposed to be done.
And it's as simple as that.
Now more than ever, men need each other.
In the end, we are much stronger united than divided.
So join us on June 4th in Las Vegas to revive a once thriving men's community that focuses on its original purpose, helping men to become the very best versions of themselves. Thank you. And with that, that is going to be the official introduction. Thank you guys all for joining me. Welcome to the 738th edition of TSR, I guess, prime time. It's 5:45 out here on the West Coast. which means it's about 8:45 out there on the East Coast. But it is good to have you guys in with us today. Good to have you guys in with us today. I sent the link to all of the, like, we have like a speaker chat. A speaker chat. I think we're on Signal and Telegram. And I know a lot of guys are busy preparing. Some guys are actually probably in the air. But hopefully, a few of the speakers can drop in and grace us with their presence for a little bit to see, just sort of to talk about the CME, why it's important, why they agreed to come out and speak. So yeah, listen, I'm going to be doing these every single day. Up to, through, and after the CME. Obviously, I'm very, very excited about what is to come. Things are certainly getting hectic. They're certainly getting crazy. My production guys are they're making their way. I think the first of my production guys, I think they land tomorrow. I can never talk with these things. I don't know why I think I can be on the air with my aligners. I have no idea why. But for whatever reason, I still haven't learned my lesson. But yeah, my production guys are going to start landing tomorrow. The day after that, a few of the speakers are going to be here. And then, of course, Thursday and Friday, that is when the vast majority of my speakers, the staff, everyone else is going to get here. And so I'm very, very excited for the things to come. I really, really am. Today, let me go ahead and share my screen with you guys. Let me go ahead and share my screen. So today marks the beginning. And we did some virtual ticket pre-sale. But today is the official first day of the virtual ticket sales. If you cannot make it to Vegas, if you can't afford to, if time doesn't permit, if you had previous engagements, you can get a virtual access ticket. You can watch the entire CME anywhere you have an internet connection. You can watch on your tablet, your phone, whatever device, your laptop, whatever device is connected to the internet. You can absolutely watch the entire CME. So the virtual access ticket includes access to the event portal and event app. You guys can view the schedule. You can create your own personal agenda. You guys can ask questions. You can interact with polls and surveys. And Tailored Carnivore is backstage. I'm going to bring him on here in just a second. Webinar registration Saturday and Sunday for all speaking events. Access via the portal. This is all technical stuff. You can take and save notes during the presentations within the portal. Access to the event activity feeds, discussions, push notifications, and all that good stuff. Most of all, you will get access to all of the video recordings, all of the speeches, everything in between for 30 days. Obviously, you must abide by the standard code of conduct. Meaning that no trolling. Don't be a dick. And that's the way that's going to be. So go to masculineexcellence.com. I don't even know what is the website here? masculineexcellence.com. Go to tickets, I suppose. Buy tickets. Okay. Buy tickets. Listen, man, Devin put all this stuff together. All I'm really doing is I'm just talking. Sweetheart, don't worry about it. Like, we don't need instructions. It is what it is. Before I bring on Tailored Carnivore, I have made the chat public for now. It's not going to stay this way. But I figured this week I'll let a few people in. If it starts to get stupid, I'll end up just making it members only. Black Pill Calisthenics says a bunch of copers. Not really sure what that means. Okay, appreciate that. I think. All right. By the way, patrons get 25% off virtual tickets. You get 25% off the virtual tickets, so an additional discount for you. Andre F says, wrong time zone? Yeah, possibly. I'm probably already jet lagged. I mean, dude, I've been the last month. I don't know. I can't even tell which coast I'm on. I'm either in Phoenix or Philly or Vegas. Who knows? Who knows? Trey the Great says, new Manosphere era. Absolutely. Massimo says, this is pure boss stuff. Absolutely. 100%. Blue Method said, the shit looks good. D Money says, stop attacking each other. Appreciate that. George Matheson says, hashtag end the beef. Appreciate that very, very much. Yeah, man. This is what this really comes down to. And again, I'm going to bring on Tailored Carnivore here very shortly. What this really comes down to, guys, is in the beginning, and again, you guys have heard me talk about this before. In the beginning, I just wanted to do an event. I wanted to do an event, a red pill, style event. I just wanted to bring in the guys that I know and, do an event. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to do speeches and, VIP meet and greets and all that good stuff. But the underlying reason I did this is because, and I remember talking about this, gosh, probably maybe up to a year or even a year and a half ago. I aptly predicted, I said, look, man, the Manosphere is not going to be around in a couple of years. There's too much infighting. And I'll never forget, I think it was episode 411 or 412. And I was doing a podcast with Ryan Stone of the Red Man Group. Formerly of the Red Man Group, now a part of the Rule Zero guys. And I remember he having this like a 10-minute discussion, like we were sitting here talking about, and this is actually off camera. We're like, dude, we missed the days where our most staunch detractors were women. Like we really missed having feminists being our worst enemy. Like those were the good old days. But as you guys just saw in that trailer, that has clearly changed. Feminists don't need to come after us anymore because we are cannibalizing ourselves. We're coming after each other all the time. The Black Manosphere isn't around anymore because of the same nonsense. All they were doing were attack videos and response video, and this person's beefing with that. The Black Manosphere doesn't exist anymore. It's completely, I don't want to say decentralized, but there's no hub anymore. There's no, every once in a while, somebody will say, well, that guy's a member of the Black Manosphere. No, the Black Manosphere doesn't exist. And it's for exactly the same reasons why the quote unquote white manosphere or the mainstream manosphere is not going to be around for much longer, is because we keep attacking each other. So what started off as just a project for me to just have a get together with some of my best friends and maybe have sort of a meetup, it really sort of morphed into, okay, something needs to happen. Something needs to stop all of this infighting. Well, as soon as I started to talk about it, it started to gain some traction. One thing led to another, and I ended up locking down a venue, and of course, we now have the CME. But something not really surprising, but it wasn't really shocking, but it was expected, just given the track record of certain people, is that it magnified the attack videos. Like the infighting continued. None of my guys, none of the guys that are coming out here to speak, they're not going to be involved in any of that nonsense. Not as far as I know, right? But that's when the personal attacks come, people talking about my girl and doxing me and this and that and the other. All that did was prove to everyone exactly why I am doing this event. Casey Gilbreth says, been hearing a lot of bad stuff. However, been a fan of the lineup for a few years. Listen, Casey, I would agree with you. I would just say that anytime you hear something bad about somebody, just, do a little bit of research, it never really takes too long. It never really takes too long to sort of, verify or disprove things that are said or not said. Anyone who has come out against me in light of all this new information, this exposed information, these were people that never liked me in the first place. So that never really bothered me. What really bothered me were there were quite a few of my longtime fans and listeners. They drank the Kool-Aid and they jumped ship. That was rough. That was really, really hard. But anyway, listen, we've recovered from all that. I am here in Las Vegas. We are here at the fabulous Venetian Resort, where the CME is going to be held. It's going to be absolutely, positively spectacular. Palladium says, have there been any 6 podcasts or am I just missing them? No, there have been no 6 podcasts. The 6 is probably going to be, I'm thinking the middle of June is probably when season 4. Season 4. Yeah, season 4 of the 6 will probably start around the middle of June. Don't quote me on that, but it will be before the month is up. Things are just absolutely crazy right now, which is, I mean, dude, everyone's going everywhere. We're all really just trying to make it to the next thing. But yeah, as soon as the CME is over, I'm going to take a little bit of a sabbatical because I've aged 10 years in 10 weeks, and we will be back on it. Marcus Love says there's way too much infighting among us men. That's what they're counting on. Yeah, exactly. George Matheson again says enough fighting. MFers out here need the red pill. Jason, I guess, agrees. That's true, Marcus. I was arguing with a man today. His answer was to abandon women and get a robot sex doll. We can't be united with men like that. I mean, that's a whole other conversation. Listen, man, I am not, and you know what? Let me bring on Tailored Carnivore here, man. Aaron, listen, man. Listen, I'm going to just throw you right into the fire. I don't see. Oh God. Listen, man, I used to be really, really hard on the get a sex doll guy. And the reason for that is because, and I'll admit it to you, the reason why is because I was largely very ignorant about what it's really like out here in these streets. I've been out the game for 3.5 years, or almost 4 years. Dude, I've dated Devin for 5 years. We've been in a committed relationship for almost 4 years. I mean, I was seeing other girls when I was seeing her, but I wasn't out here approaching and doing all this other kind of stuff. The game has clearly changed. And because now I understand how hard it is, I'm not really that hard on guys who say, hey, go get a sex doll. What are your thoughts on guys who say, hey, listen, man, let's abandon all women. Let's just go get sex dolls. Or is that an apex fallacy?
Well, it's an option. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, you're coming in loud and clear. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's an option. I mean, to each their own in some ways, but for the guys that look at that as an option and just say that's ridiculous on its face, well, that's obvious. But what is your answer for the reason why those dolls are being made? Like, we have to have strategies. We have to have things that we consider and how we navigate this complicated environment. And it's getting more complicated, to be honest.
Right. Yes, it is. The way I see it is this, man. I think the reason I've changed my stance is because, we all want to sit here, well, I'm not self-conscious and I don't care what people think. No, I care very much what people think. My livelihood depends upon it. But by the same token, I have to remain steadfast in my belief system. I mean, listen, having a sex doll is not something. Now, who knows? Listen, who knows? Maybe 5 to 10 years from now, maybe my stance changes. I seriously doubt that, but one never knows. But I've always been really hard on those guys. But now that I understand how hard it is, I'm like, hey, listen, not something I would do, but listen, if that's what you want to do, to each their own. Do you think the sex doll guy, do you think that guy is dangerous to guys that are red pill aware, or are they not a factor?
I mean, maybe some of them could radicalize.
I don't know. Maybe. Who knows?
I mean, they're not dangerous to anybody, quite frankly. I mean, that's the man who would invest in an inanimate object to take care of that reality for himself. He's not a danger to anybody except maybe himself.
Listen, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, he's disarmed is what I'm trying to say. He's a tool for, I mean, again, I understand, because I'm a man, I can understand the pathway of thought process, why a guy would think like there's an option. I deal with women in the sexual marketplace too. So okay. I can sympathize, but for me, it's just like, no, like this is just crazy. Like we're actually doing this, but I'm not participating in that.
Yeah, listen, Do what you want, not something I would do. Real Talk with the $5 super chat said, not interested in the personal lives of strangers. What I appreciate is the message and what it does for men. Joining us on the broadcast, of course, is another speaker at the CME, my man, Texas Dom. What's going on, Tex?
Well, I'm at the beach right now, and so if there's a lot of wind on my mic, I'm just going to have to keep muting it so I don't interrupt the broadcast here. But damn happy to be here.
Actually, you sound just fine.
All right, cool. Looking forward to seeing you men in a few days. It's going to be great.
Absolutely, man. And I appreciate you agreeing to speak, man. You and I, obviously, we met at 21. Tex and I hit it off. I was shocked at how tall you were. I was like, holy God, dude, Tex looks like he's like 6'10". It's incredible.
Yeah, everything's bigger in Texas. You know that.
Everything's bigger in Texas. And Tex, give me your thoughts on the whole sex doll thing. Like I was telling Aaron, man, I've never been in favor of it. I used to be hard on those guys, not so much now. What are your thoughts on that?
It's hard to build a legacy. You're sticking your junk into a piece of plastic. I mean, how do you have a legacy? How do you pass your name on? How do you live on through your kids and grandkids and great grandkids and all that? Seems like a dead end for your gene pool right there.
Yeah, man. I mean, and as we welcome Phil Foster, another speaker at the CME. Welcome, Phil. Welcome to the broadcast. How you doing, man?
I'm doing excellent. How you doing, Donovan?
I'm doing great. My girl is doing extra great because, by the way, Phil Foster's got Dev on. She's on the TRT and the HGH, and all those naughty pictures that a bunch of dudes are complaining about, it's because of Phil. Blame Phil Foster for that. That's why she's
I'll take that any day of the week, man. I'm so happy that that's just working great.
Dude, it's absolutely awesome. Dude, she raped me this morning. Like, she took me against my will. I'm thinking of maybe calling the cops. I'm thinking maybe I should. Like, afterwards, I was like, I felt a little bit dirty. But I was like, okay, well, I guess I can let it go. But I was afraid she was going to beat me up. But at any rate, I do appreciate you hooking us up.
That's the beautiful thing when you get your hormones optimized, man. Is life just unlocks itself for you like that.
I absolutely love it. Let me go around the panel here and let's just Jason P or Joseph P says the black pill consumes all. The dating market is rigged. Some men's only option is a sex doll. So we've already talked about the sex doll. Aaron, let me start with you about what are your thoughts on the black pill? What's the first thing that comes to mind when Aaron Taylor hears black pill?
Well, they have a point.
Yes.
I think it's entirely valid. I mean, and I think without reading or understanding everything about the black pill's point, I do understand the marketplace from the perspective of looks versus game.
Yep.
And I think it would be disingenuous for me as a men's custom tailor to not address the importance of looks.
Yeah.
So, I'm not going to sit over here and deny that the effect of social calibration and understanding, the way that women and men interact. It's a lot of complex stuff to wake up to. And I think that they do have a point, but what happens is it often goes to extremes. They get into lookism and they tend to focus on the guys that are like, with all due respect to them, they maybe don't have a chance in the marketplace. Like they've got some impediment, like some issue with their looks that, believes that they disqualifies them. So, for those guys, like I see that they have a point, but sure. I separate when it comes to just give up.
Right.
I'm not really that guy. Like I'm not a natural. I would rate myself like without all this stuff going on.
Yeah.
Rate myself like a 5 at best. I'm not kidding.
Right.
I had to work hard for my physique. I had to work hard for everything. And, you'll see this stuff when I present at the conference. Like I was an incel. Like I was that guy and I knew it. But I knew that, I needed to ascend out of that because the idea of just being apathetic about it, I mean, that just ran contrary to my nature.
I will tell you this, and I'm gonna come to Tex with this because what Aaron just pointed out is what it is. It's almost like a misnomer wrapped in a dichotomy. Stay with me. when Black Pill guy says all it is looks, if you're 6'4" and look like this, blah, 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 they are partially right. However, what Aaron just talked about is not the looks that Black Pill guys are talking about. You see, what Black Pill guys talk about, they talk about things that are outside of their control. If you were born with a certain look, there is really nothing you can do about that. You do, however, have control over your physique and the way you dress. And if you optimize body composition and then optimize your dress, I'm not going to say it doesn't matter what you look like in terms of women, but it's going to matter a lot less, because you can be the 6'4" good-looking alpha Greek god Chad. If your shoulders are slumped, if you don't have a lot of confidence, if you're not dressed well, if you're not groomed properly, you're going to get outshined by the 5'8" guy whose physical condition is tip top and he's dressed to the nines. So, Tex, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on guys not really acknowledging that they really do need to control their controllables if they want to be more attractive to women and other people, for that matter?
Well, I think they have their expectations too high in certain regards.
Okay.
And of course, we all know that women have their expectations too high. I'm not answering your question directly, but it's just the first thing that hit me is that, if you're a 3 or a 4, right? Why are you looking for 9s and 10s? Now, the problem is that from everyone, I've been in the marketplace for 40 damn years, right? So, but the thing, 30, but the thing is, women have the overinflated opinion on what they are too right now, thanks to the thirsty people on the internet, thirsty men out there and all that. But I mean, if a man's in basically looks department is a 3 or 4, he can up his game to a 5 or a 6 just by wearing good clothes, having a decent job, being interesting, having something to say. And then don't have his sights so freaking high. I mean, if you want someone to spend the rest of your life with, maybe you find you a good 4 or 5 or a 6 that's going to be super appreciative of somebody taking care of somebody that really wants to be there. I
totally agree. And I'll say this. Let me ask you this. I'm gonna get Tex's opinion. Then I'm gonna go to Phil's opinion. I have always said, and I've said this numerous times, 8s, 9s, and 10s, they belong to the game. Like 8s, 9s, and 10s, they are useless because they've never had to be useful. If you're looking to be a player and you're looking to have some fun with some hot girls, the 8s, 9s, and 10s, they will serve that purpose. But when it's time to settle down and have a chance at a good, solid relationship, you need to set your sights on the 6s and the 7s. Are there 8s, 9s, and 10s out there who make great wives and girlfriends and all that? Yes. The problem is they're already married. Those girls get taken off the market very, very quickly, and that's if they don't have Instagram. Like there used to be countries where hot girls didn't know they were hot. But now, Cobra Tate was on with the Fresh and Fit guys. He's like, dude, went to the small town in Estonia where you don't think these girls know that they're hot. Random girl, 200,000 Instagram followers. So what are your thoughts, Tex? And then I'll get Phil's opinion, and we welcome how can I put this? The adult film star Sterling Cooper to the mix. What are your thoughts on setting your sights on 6s and 7s for long-term relationships as opposed to 8s, 9s, and 10s for short-term?
I mean, it's just what you want. Every swinging dick out there is going for the 8, 9s, and 10s, right? So your competition is super high. And if you can't measure up to that competition, you're going to have to set your sights lower or you're going to be lonely. I mean, that's just the way, that's the way it works. Hey, you know what? You may be perfectly happy being lonely. You may be perfectly happy being single and finding a sex dolphin fan. If that's the case, all power to you.
Listen, if you're going to get a sex doll, she better be an 8, a 9, or a 10. Phil, let me get you in here, man. So we heard about the looks, the money, and the status. That's all that matters, et cetera, et cetera. What are your thoughts on the looks only matter? And then give me your thoughts on the sexual market value versus relationship market value. 6s, 7s, 8s, 9s, and 10s. Unmute yourself, please.
I will tell you this, that the sexual market value, women are way, 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 way overinflated on that. Women in your life, you just need to let them know at least weekly, at least once a week, hey, I'm tired of your shit, and keep them off that pedestal first and foremost. I'm just being for real with this. I believe that I've got a relatively hot lady, and at any moment she can walk out the door. Hey, that's it. There's a bazillion more out there. I think guys need to really calibrate themselves to how they approach women, especially through social media. So these 6, 7s, for marriage material, I don't think that a 7, 8, or 9 is unreasonable if you have your shit together, right?
Okay.
If you're a gentleman of relatively decent stature, you've worked on your physique, you've worked on your finances, you've worked on your general appearance and how you're handling your business and your day to day. I don't think that having a higher value woman is out of the question. Obviously, you're going to have to do some training with that woman, though, okay? Because she's so used to being spoiled by all these little thirsty dudes out there chasing her all over the planet. I think that that's how I feel about that, Donovan. But I will tell you that as far as looks go, you need to definitely inverse that. And if you think that you are below a 5 yourself, then definitely start hunting in the 5 to 6 range. And then as you calibrate up in your stature, move up the ladder to the 7s, 8s, and 9s.
Good stuff. Very good answer. You pointed out some things that I had never thought about. Yeah, if your value is high enough, yeah, you can have a 7, 8, or even possibly a 9 or a 10 be, at least turn her into a quality woman, provided that you have your shit together. Sterling, let me come to you because you have had relations with more 10s than probably all of us combined. Now, I ran through a bunch of 10s right out here in Vegas, but a guy like you, obviously in your line of work, how much do looks matter to you in terms of relationships? Because, dude, you can go have sex with hot girls literally anytime you want and then get paid for it. So what are looks in terms of the importance in your scale?
Well, it's funny that you call some of the girls that I work with like 8s, 9s, and 10s.
Oh, really? Why is that?
Well, because mate, here's my thing. Every 9 in 10 is a 7 or an 8 without makeup on.
Woo, wow.
As soon as you see this, all these girls that they're really, don't get me wrong, they're beautiful. They're beautiful. Sure. I'm not going to say they're not beautiful. But these girls I work with, they're stunningly beautiful, but they spend an hour in a makeup chair every morning to look that good on camera for a start.
Yep.
And so do damn near every hot girl you stumble across. They are also spending a shitload of time in front of a mirror, putting their makeup on, putting their outfit on. Like, they're putting effort into this, right?
Right.
You take that makeup away, take that outfit away. Then you wake up next to them the next morning. Okay, that's the good time to reassess. What are they really like a 10? I mean, come on, guys. Is there such a thing as like a 9 or a 10? Maybe there are a few natural beauties who look stunning without makeup on. That I would call an absolute 10, a 9 piece. But anyway, once you get to know some of these girls, their personality, they can't help but show you the bad parts of their personality.
Oh, God,
and so that immediately sort of takes them down a peg or two in my book whenever I meet them. But I'm used to that now.
Right.
And so when it comes to a relationship, it's all about loyalty, right? It's about do you follow my lead? Do you give me shit? Are you a compliment to my life, or are you a burden? Are you adding stress, or are you taking stress away from daddy? That's the important thing.
I like that, yeah.
That should be the first thing I drill into her head if I'm gonna get in a relationship with her, is your job is to take stress away from me.
Yes.
That is your job. If you're not doing your job, then you can say goodbye. And it's you kind of get what you put up with, I think. And some more attractive women have gotten away with a lot of bullshit.
Of course, right? They're more attractive.
But the guy that doesn't put up with that bullshit is immediately going to be the most attractive guy to her, I think.
Of course,
in terms of her options.
Listen, man, I say this all the time, man. 9s and 10s, they're fun to mess with, but they are a fucking headache. They're looking in the mirror every 5 seconds. And 9s and 10s, they don't compare themselves to the average girls. They compare themselves to 9s and 10s. And I think 9s and 10s these days almost have a built-in body dysmorphia. As hot as they are, they can always find something else that is wrong with them. Big shout out to Jason Bravo with the $100 super chat. I would hit the Don DeMarco button if I were in Philly, but I'm in Vegas right now. He says, just bought my virtual ticket since I spent this past weekend in Vegas for my buddy's bachelor party. Was a great chance to self-reflect some life choices. You're right when it comes to men shaming other men for being red-pilled. Looking forward to the CME. I'm going to go around the panel with this one. I'm going to start with Aaron. What are your thoughts on men making fun of or talking trash, shaming men who have red pill awareness, who live the red pill life? Unmute yourself, please. Oh, yep. There you go.
Yeah, you can tell I'm new at this.
That's all good.
It's again, I can understand their position, but at the same time, it's childish. I mean, we all have that visual of growing up and going to school and being out in the recess yard, the playground, right? And what's like the most popular part of the playground? I think it's the swings, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So, all the cool kids are over there dominating the swings, and you could see that social dynamic in play, right? So I just don't think that it's necessary. I don't think we, if we're red pill or identify as such, need to necessarily poke fun at them, because, again, there's some valid perspectives on their side of the equation. And quite frankly, although I find it somewhat flattering when people make fun of me or poke fun at me or shame or whatever, I always find that to be a compliment. That doesn't mean I really want to hear it. I'd rather hear praise and flattery,
Of course. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, listen, I think it goes without saying. I think that we would all rather hear compliments than criticism. Tex, what are your thoughts on men who shame other men for having red pill awareness or living the red pill life?
I just don't think they get it. I think they've listened to opinions. They're parroting things that they've read. They haven't checked it out themselves, or there's just some massive amount of projection going on.
Okay.
All the infighting in the manosphere is the same. It's just massive projection.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So they just don't know what they're talking about. I mean, so they just attack. And also, if they attack red pill, maybe they figure they can get laid. They're a little more sensitive. Maybe somebody's gonna. They're probably attacking it because their girlfriend read something bad about it.
I came up with this hashtag whenever guys come after me in my comments, like, she's right? And I'm like, dude, you understand she's still not gonna, like, you're still not smashing her, right? Like, understand you're trying to look all big and bad for this girl who probably doesn't even know who you are, but she's not gonna smash you. Phil, what are your thoughts on listen, let's just keep it real. What are your thoughts on black pill guys? Black pill guys are the main guys who come after us for living the red pill life. We're scam artists, we're grifters, and all that other kind of stuff. What are your thoughts on that? Because listen, black pill guys, a lot of what they say is true in terms of their philosophy and why they do what they do, but then they come after us for, I guess, living a life that they say they don't want to live. I don't know.
Well, first things first, let them fucking hate, man. That's fine. Let them hate.
Right.
They display that effeminate behavior in my direction. It's that, whatever, dude. You're childish. I don't have time for that. I think that these guys supplicate these women, and they have a hard time understanding how guys that may lead or live the red pill lifestyle or practice these fundamentals that we've learned over time. They struggle with understanding how to live in that fashion because they're so caught in that comfort and that liberty of society, right? So
yeah.
It's like, okay, you need to follow this line, you need to go to work, you need to punch a clock, you need to do all this, and I'm going to throw shade on these people over here because they choose not to live a different way. There is no illusion here. It is what it is. I mean, once we've all heard it before, once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Right.
And I think that these folks that are caught up in that effeminate behavior or the black pill is what you call it. I just let them hate, man. They're never going to understand it. And if they want to understand it, come on, hit me up. I'm all over the place.
Okay. Yeah. Well, hashtag Phil Foster.
There you go, man. Let's go.
Sterling, what are your thoughts on the black pill hate coming our way? Do you think it's projection? Do you think it's jealousy? Is it really? I mean, is it legit? What are your thoughts?
Well, I'm fortunate. I don't get much black pill hate.
Oh, thank God.
I get blue pill hate.
Oh, okay. All right.
Particularly in my field of work. It's
really?
Basically all the men in my industry, with maybe a handful of dudes as an exception, are Not just the actors, but the directors, the lighting guys, the like fucking everyone who's in the ecosystem are all massively.
No shit, man. Now that is the opposite of what I would think it would be. You would think that adult. Wow, that's incredible.
No. They all pedestalize women. They all sort of fall over themselves for female approval, and they all follow the feminine kind of narrative. Strong, independent woman, you go, girl, blah blah blah, all that crap, right?
Wow.
So with that being considered, I get a lot of sort of blue pill hate, right, for expressing my views, particularly on Twitter. They hate me on Twitter.
Sure.
But
yes, they do.
What I kind of fleshed out this understanding of it recently, which was once you put people into once people are red pilled, right? You realize once you're red pilled, you realize that there's the two categories of people. One who base their worldview, they base the foundation of their sort of roadmap for life is based in truth and what is fundamentally true. That is what we would call the red pill, right?
Okay.
Because everything that's extra, any assumption you make from then onwards, you're basing it in, is this fundamentally true? Can I create a meaningful hypothesis from this, assumption?
Sure.
Everyone else in the blue pill space, and everyone else who sort of hasn't been woken up or whatever, right? They're operating on a foundational level of the foundation of their entire worldview is, does this give me female approval?
Wow.
That's what their whole worldview is really built upon. Everything they do is not built from a place of, is this fundamentally true? It's built from a place of, do women approve of this thing? And that's what I noticed recently. That was sort of
incredible.
The two dots I connected very recently.
It looks like a lot of people in the chat are surprised. Marcus Love says, really, I had no idea the sex industry was like this.
Yep.
Now, Sean Doherty says, clearly does not understand black pill. I'm not going to throw shade on the guy because he's been respectful. So, Sean, if you would, listen, give me a definition, in the chat, and I'll try to keep an open mind. I'm not here to throw shade on or talk shit to anybody. So if you would, if there's anything we don't understand about the black pill, please let me know. C-Dub with the $20 super chat says 3 E's that take that take down any man: ego, entitlement, and envy. We can work through one or two of those at a time, but all three is often fatal to mission and purpose. Salute to DS. Looking forward to meeting and networking with all the CME men. Very good. So C-Dub is going to be in Vegas for the CME this weekend. This is interesting because it would appear, and again, I'm not really I guess a black pill hater, so to speak. I understand why they think the way they think. And I think a lot of us need to understand that, especially today's men are sort of hardwired or rewired since birth to take the easier road. Listen, black pill audiences or guys who just give up, that audience is always going to be bigger because it's a lot harder to do what we're doing than to do what they're doing, right? Nobody gives women credit for sleeping around because sleeping around is easier. It's easier than breathing for every woman, basically. But when it comes to men who are always looking to self-improve, men who are always looking to raise the bar, that's not easy to do. And so I think that's the reason why there's a lot more hate than love. Is that just my bias? Is it because arrows and slings are coming at me? Or do you diverge from that? Aaron, what are your thoughts, man?
Yeah, it's not easy to do this. This is not an easy way to live. Anytime you have this type of insight, the black pill position is that the game is rigged, and it is. But there's a way to beat the rigging. Okay. Yeah. So here we go. It's just this is an easy thing to understand, but it's so nuanced that oftentimes this forum is not adequate enough. The language that we have is not adequate enough to actually describe all these different things that are happening.
Can you hear me? Oh, I think we lost him. I think he froze. Okay. See, it says, does Tailored Carnivore have an Instagram? Yes, he does. It is at Tailored Carnivore. Let me put it up on the screen here so I can give him a bit of a plug, even though it looks like he's frozen. I guess that he'll be back. He's all good. Let me go ahead and so at Tailored Carnivore, that is that dude, look at this. Oh, and by the way, Tailored Carnivore is the guy who custom designed all of my suits. The suit that you guys saw in the trailer, that was tailored by him. The one I'm gonna wear on opening night, tailored by him. Yeah, like his Instagram makes me hungry. It's nothing but suits and steaks, pretty much. Look at this. Look at this transformation, dude. This is insane. Look at this, man. Like, he used to be a fat ass like I was, and now he clearly is not. And again, just like you said, Aaron, that is it. Let me ask you this, man. Let me just sort of get personal with you here. How long did it take you to go from the before picture to the after picture? Because, dude, that is amazing.
It took me 7 months.
Wow.
When I first started, I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't understand anything about nutrition. My diet was totally poor, processed foods, all kinds of junk. But as soon as I started to get onto it and started to notice a couple things, then I just went crazy researching and applied everything that I knew. It's like, if you're going to do something to change your style or your body or whatever, why do you want to do the scenic tour? Like, get it done, right. Commit, get it done, stick to a plan, get discipline, get your ass in the gym, like whatever it has to do. Sometimes it's smart work, sometimes it's hard work, but it's always work. And you need, and that's what I'm saying is that what I often see is that men just vacillate. Like the worst thing for a man is to be indecisive, to be somewhere in between. I don't really want to do this, but I know I need to get healthy. I don't really want to improve my looks, but I'm kind of not doing so well because of it. That state right there is pure effing torture for men. We're not made to be that way. It's not in our gender symbology, that like circle with the arrow pointing out of it.
Oh yeah.
Okay, like that is what that means. It's to divide and push things apart. We're supposed to be decisive. And if we're not, honestly, it just takes us apart from the inside out.
Very good. Listen, well said. And listen, this guy is a made guy because he's done it, gentlemen. He's done it. Geeky Anomaly is downstairs. He is actually on the premises with the $5 super chat. He says he has some gear for me. So I guess at the end of this broadcast, I'm going to go down there and meet him. We're actually, you know what, Dev, we're supposed to hang out with him for dinner tonight. So we're going to go to dinner with Geeky Anomaly. Looking forward to that. Tex, let me get your thoughts on the 3 E's in terms of like ego and envy and entitlement. Am I being biased when I say that the black pill hate toward us is just envy? Or are some of their gripes with guys like us, are they legit?
I don't really understand the black pill. It just seems rather lazy to me. It seems like someone that's just given up. I mean, I've seen black pill folks in the world of politics, and I understand they just had enough and they just completely backed out. So I'm assuming that's what they named the sexual marketplace as well. They just had enough. They can't take anymore, and they game's rigged and they're out. But it just seems like a defeatist mindset.
Yeah,
and I think there's more to life than that. I think that someone needs to kick them in the ass and get them moving.
This is what I love about Tex, man. Tex is from Texas, and people from Texas are straightforward. Phil, you're also from Texas. What are your thoughts on the ego, entitlement, and envy? Is the black pill hate, I mean, just, trying to be as objective as we can here, is the black pill hate legit, or is it just envy?
I think it's just pure envy. Maybe they have a little bit of, they hate a little bit. They think we're entitled or something like that. But I don't think it's an ego thing. I think it's more of an envious thing because they're, once again, caught in that comfort. They're caught in the little grip of society, right? And they're confused because they see what can be, but they don't know how to go about getting it.
Right.
The thought process is like Sterling mentioned earlier, it's a lot of hard work. There is no middle ground, right? If you're going to change yourself, you got to put the work in and change, period. It's the guys I work with all the time. I let them know. I said, hey, my training isn't easy. It's hard. As a matter of fact, it's extremely hard. And they start fussing at first. And once they get going through the program and they start seeing the results, I'm like, that hard, you did all the work, man. That's all your hard work. And that's the big thing is getting these guys to understand that, yeah, it's a little bit uncomfortable. The discomfort is going to be there for some time. You have to acknowledge a lot of the fallacies and lies that you've been told. you have to correct yourself and your physique or whatever you need to do if you're overweight. But once you go through all those discomforts, you know, the promised land's on the other side, so to speak, right? I mean, you got more freedom. You can be who you are and be proud of who you are. There's no sense in hiding under comfort and societal norms. You know, there's just no need for it. So I say it's envy.
Okay, very good. Sterling, is it ego? Is it envy? Is it entitlement? What explains the black pill hate towards guys like us?
I think it's this sort of, they forget that if they lived in a different time, they'd probably be dead.
Yeah. Yeah.
Seriously, like if I mean, most of us, and we're relatively accomplished men, I'd like to think, even most of us, if we rewound the clock 1,000 years, we would have probably died in battle at some point.
I'd last a day and a half.
I mean, you're a pretty big guy, Donovan. I think you'd pull your own weight.
Well, listen, I'm afraid of woolly mammoths. Those are my biggest fears. So,
you know, rightfully so. But men kind of forget this. Like I feel like they're approaching life like it should be an even playing field, and life has never been an even playing field. Especially for men. Like something like 40% of men since the dawn of time have reproduced. Like we have always been fighting for like the top dog position, and it has never been fair, and it has never been easy.
Nope.
It's just modern society has made us believe that it should be, and there's this particularly recent period of time, like in the 1900s, when like every man got a woman and everything was hunky dory, and we had the nuclear family and all this stuff, right? That was a very brief period in our history as human beings, from what I understand. You know what I mean? Prior to that, it was like people were fucking fighting, tribes were raiding each other, we were going to war, like we walked in a direction and took people's shit. Like it's pretty fucking barbaric.
One thing that you just said, which I believe most people are largely unaware of, is something you said about maybe 30 seconds ago, is that throughout history, the percentage of men who have actually reproduced and had children, 40%. This means that 6 out of every 10 men who have ever existed has not reproduced. Okay? So when women like to say, well, women cheat more than, no. It's not like that at all. It's not, listen, it is survival of the fittest. Life is not fair. It has never been a level playing field. You can, and listen, we live in a time now where there are more resources for us to level the playing field than there's ever been. Mm-hmm. But by the same token, there's more complaining than there's ever been. Guys just don't want to do the work. And that's really, I mean, am I wrong?
That's absolutely correct, man. That is like 100% right. Like, everyone is so like comfortable just whinging and whining about their super comfortable existence. If we're being perfectly honest, like, you know, it's because like you don't have to be. There's nothing like. There's no crucible. Like there's nothing forging us. You know.
There's no rite of passage, right?
That's exactly it. You don't need. You don't require bravery to go to the supermarket.
No.
Like you don't need. There's nothing to just get your everyday needs met. It doesn't require any degree of fortitude. Whereas, you know, in previous times, we actually had to step up and be men in order to fucking survive. But we have the luxury today of being able to sit back and whinge and complain and say, "Oh, the world's not fair. Oh, woe is me."
Wow. Ice Dragon Kid says, glad to be a part of that 40%. I'm glad to be a part of I'm probably a part of the 40% and just don't know it. Hopefully I never get that knock on the door with a little kid who looks up at me and he looks just like me. Last question of the evening here, guys. I guess this is just sort of a slam dunk question. Why did you agree to speak at the CME? Aaron, lead us off, man.
Well, thank you. You know, here's the thing. I've been working with men as clients and, you know, as friends in the professional context for all of my career. I was in the military and all kinds of environments where I primarily deal with and relate to men best. You know, I'm not perfect. I don't have every answer for everything, but I think in my lane, I have some interesting perspectives that I would like to offer that I think would actually bring in some unity. And you know, here's the other thing. Like, there's a section of men who are. It's almost like they don't need any help they're just on go mode, and that's awesome, right? But there's a ton of other men who are getting left behind. It's partly on them, and it's partly because of this world that we live in. So I'm empathetic, but I am not sympathetic, right? Like there is work to do. There are people out here who want to help. It's my passion to help. I've been doing it for a long time. And to me, this was just a simple lateral move. You know, you asked me to do it. I said, yeah, absolutely. It'd be my pleasure.
Good. And I appreciate you. I appreciate you agreeing to speak. I think a lot of guys are going to find out very quickly that you're probably one of the most underrated figures out there. You're definitely brand new, but I mean, knowing Aaron as well as I do now, he knows his stuff for sure. Tex, why did you agree to speak at the CME, my friend?
Well, you know, it's I saw the trailer, right? I didn't know anything about me until I saw the trailer, and I agreed with every damn word that was spoken on that trailer. And I've spoke with several of the people on there. You and I have been on stage together many times now. And it's kind of like, I want into that. I want into something positive, something that is going to maybe fill the gap that was created when all the infighting started a couple of years ago. Because back in 2018, things were so amazingly on fire. It was just lit, as you young kids like to say. But I'm just telling you, I'm like the elder here in the group, I think. But I mean, Bruno might have me by a few weeks. But I just want. I went in, man. It's like I saw that, and my mission in life, I don't make any money with this stuff. I got a great job. My mission in life is to help other men. It always has been. And since I started blogging 5 or 6 years ago, it's been my number one goal. And being able to be a part of something like this, I will be able to change maybe 1 or 2 lives, possibly.
Good.
Maybe more if I'm lucky, right? So if my words ring true, and there's nothing like speaking the truth, and having a platform to do that, I'm very appreciative, and I can't wait to get there.
Absolutely, and thank you very much for agreeing to speak, man. I remember you were actually one of the people that reached out to me, and it's funny because I had a list of people, and I think you were like number 4 or 5 on the list, just because of and I wanted to keep this as diverse as humanly possible, and I'm glad that you reached out to me, because I was like, dude, I don't know if he's really gonna want to speak, but yeah, I guess the decision was easy. I guess, just based on the actions of he who shall not be named. We're talking about Voldemort, of course. Phil, why did you agree to speak at the CME?
First off, what a great opportunity, right?
Yeah, of course.
And it was a wonderful opportunity to share some of my insights with these gentlemen and that are looking possibly to level up in life through fitness, hormones, or just basic life stuff. What I recognize with the CME is just a positive uptick, right? And I see growth when I look at what you've created here, Donovan. And so let me tell you, hey, thank you for the opportunity to speak.
Absolutely.
I am so pumped to see you go onward and upward with this thing. I think you're going to crush it. And so why not be a part of something that's pro-masculine, pro-men, and all about positivity and go in the right direction instead of the other direction, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I agreed to speak. 100%.
Okay. Very good. And by the way, at Phil Foster _ is where you can find Phil Foster on Twitter. At Tailored Carnivore, that is where you can find pardon me, that's where you can find Tailored Carnivore at IG. At Texas Dom, I think, is it at Texas Dom 1, Tex, or is it just at Texas Dom on Twitter?
At Texas Dom 1, and I don't think I'm on Instagram anymore. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So he's no longer on Instagram. Okay. Instagram is no longer lit enough for Texas Tom. Sterling, why did you agree to speak at the CME? You were actually, you know what? It's funny. You're the very first person I invited, and it was such a long time ago. I almost forgot about it.
So I'm glad I reminded you.
Yes, dude. No, so am I. Holy God.
But that for a start, that's one of the reasons why. I mean, I respect you, Donovan, and you invited me to speak. Of course I'm going to speak. But
thank you.
More to the point, there's a selfish reason and then there's an unselfish reason. The selfish reason is that I get to meet these gentlemen face to face.
Yes.
And I get to learn from them just as much as they'll learn from me, just as much the attendants will learn from me. So there's a degree of selfishness there from me.
Of course.
But more to the point, it's that I want to try and help as many, like Phil was just saying, I want to try and help as many men as I possibly can. Like I want to, my intention is kind of be the big brother these guys never had. And you learn a lot more, you absorb a lot more through osmosis than you might think, just by being around other men who have figured some shit out that you haven't figured out. Just by being in their presence, you learn a significant amount. It's not all, about like what's written down, what you can take notes on.
Right.
There's a lot to be learned from just picking up on someone's vibe. And that's why I'm very, very happy to be going to this event. And, hopefully the attendees can learn a thing or two off me in regards to sorting shit out in the bedroom.
There you go. Hey, listen, I'll be honest with you. The reason why I wanted you there is I'm trying to upgrade the dick game. Like, I'm just going to keep it I'm just going to keep it 100, man. And it's funny. Sterling and I are going to get together and we're going to talk about email campaigns and automations and things like that. So, hey, listen, man. Sterling Cooper, listen, we do not objectify people. Sterling is more than his phallus. He is a human being, and he should be treated as such.
I'm not just a sausage with feet.
There it is. Sausage with feet. At Cooper Sterling is where you can find him on Instagram. That was a good one. I definitely did not expect that one. Before I read the last few super chats, the reason I decided to do the CME is because I just wanted to hang out with people, get together and be pro-masculinity. Events along the way caused me to sort of change objectives. And my main objective is that I absolutely could not and will not allow the person who has made himself the de facto president of the manosphere be the representative of what this community is all about. So I am hereby commandeering the White House. And listen, this is official. The president is being it's not really the impeachment process. The president is being removed. Okay. This guy is no longer the president of the manosphere. He can be the president of whatever the hell he wants to be. Am I the new president of the manosphere? No, there is no president of the manosphere. The manosphere is going to be decentralized, and that fucking idiot is no longer the president. I think that's clear at this point. So that's my little jab. Like I said yesterday, man, you can only take the high road for so long, but I think I deserve that little jab. He's fucking done. Black Lemur 2009 with the $500 super chat. Holy crap. Says, glad you're back on. Won't be in Vegas due to work. Dude, I wanted Black Lemur 2009 to come to the event because he's donated like $1 bazillion.
He just paid for his ticket.
I swear to God. He just paid, he just dude. Dude, email us for a virtual ticket, man. We got you. Dude, Black Lemur has, oh my God, he's super chatted so much money. Oh, and by the way, shout out to Chris Rice with the $200 Cash App yesterday. C-Dub, $20 says too many black pill males are the equivalent of uncompetitive women in the sexual and relationship marketplaces, relying on non-existent notions of, quote, fairness to get what they can't or won't work to earn for themselves. That was very red pill Mike-ish. Very, very well said. With that is going to do it for the 738th edition of TSR Primetime. Listen, I'm going to go around the panel one more time. Tell the people where to find you, where you're at on social media. Aaron, go.
Hey, thank you for having me on. You can find me at, just like my name says, but no space, on Instagram, primarily at Tailored Carnivore. I'm in the middle of some new branding there, so if you notice I haven't posted in a while, there's a reason. And that's generally it. All other social media platforms coming soon. This is obviously a new thing for me. Thank you, man.
Absolutely. Aaron, I think, has the best hair on the panel. Texas Dom is actually looking like the shadow figure on Kiss the Girls, who ended up being the bad guy Carrie Elwes character. But tell the people where to find you.
TexasDom.com is my blog, and at TexasDom1 on Twitter. And I'm just kind of out there, but yeah. And I probably have a wish of anybody on the panel tonight, so we're good to go, man.
Good. And I did not realize you had a website, TexasDom.com, guys. TexasDom.com. Phil, tell the people where they can find you. There you go. There you go.
Yeah, you can find me at PhilFoster_ on Twitter and Instagram, and the website's PhilFosterFitness.com.
PhilFosterFitness.com. Listen, if you want your girl to be looking good, PhilFoster.com. I'm not going to tell you. Sterling, tell the people where to find you. Other than
this is kind of like the forget the Pornhub thing. Go here. Go to sterlingcooper.com. You won't see my dick.
No dick. Listen, Sterling. Listen, you don't have to tell this for sure because it's only us. Have you ever sent a dick pic before?
Oh yeah, I've sent a dick pic.
Yes! I knew it.
Look, I actually don't. I only send dick pics to girls I've already fucked. That's my rule.
Oh, how about that?
Actually, I'm gonna drop a bit of. Okay, I'm gonna drop a bit of free game on you guys right
Let's
here.
do it. Let's do it.
Look, everyone knows that a girl's imagination is your best friend, right?
That's right.
So it's better rather than sending dick pics to girls. What you should do, and women have confirmed this to me, put some gray sweatpants on and take a morning wood photograph with gray sweatpants on.
God.
So you see the dick outline?
Yes.
That will go over 1,000,000 times better. Just send that picture and say good morning.
Wow.
Without not focusing on the junk, but like full body shot, and there's obviously the dick print.
That is great.
Fucking way better.
Ticket says just one up.
Listen, I'm telling you right now, Sterling, you just earned your black card because that's some nigga shit. Only in the black community, listen, we have cuffing season, right? Then there is nigga season, right? Where niggas with large sausages. I've got 3 pairs of gray sweatpants in here right now. That's just who I am. So the fact that you know about that stuff, you are absolutely a made guy. Wow. Sterling Cooper just dropped gray sweatpants game on us. Hashtag the imprint. Unbelievable. Gentlemen, thank you guys very much for making time for the show. I'm going to be doing these all week long. You guys are all welcome to come back. We're going to be discussing certain elements, certain topics just regarding the CME. We're going to change topics every day. Thank you guys all for joining us. That's going to do it for this, the 738th edition of TSR Primetime. The CME is in 4 days. There are 12 tickets left before we are completely sold out. MasculineExcellence.com, MasculineExcellence.com. We'll see you guys in Vegas.